Hello, everybody, and happy Monday. Happy Monday, Labor Day, even. It is a Labor Day. I hope people are around because it's a holiday. Either people are around and excited to do something live or gone camping. It's always one extreme or the other, right? Nothing to do or everything to do. Let's see. Glennis was in first. Hello, Glennis. Hello. Jello, Margie. Yeah, Margie's like, hey, wait, Glennis, how did you get in first? That's funny. Heavy is the head on which the crown lies. Very true. Very true. Well, good morning to Glennis and Margie. It's not morning for either of them or me. It's afternoon. And Carrie, Indigo Paper, that is Carrie. She is with me here today.
Hi, everyone.
Little wave with her what do I say? I don't want to say
injured wing.
Injured wing. It's exciting to see it working so well. There's Melanie. Hi, we're going camping? Yes. For all of those who don't want to camp on the great outdoors, you can join us today. We'll camp right here, make something fun, give something away, have a good time. You know, what we usually do. Good to see you, Melanie. I take it you didn't go camping in the great outdoors this weekend. Thanks for being here. Pretty excited. We were out of town last week. We got back on Thursday night, right before Labor Day weekend started. I just don't really like being out there on the holiday weekends when everybody else is.
Oh my goodness, no.
Too much traffic. And if you're going camping, if I'm going camping to get away, if it's a holiday weekend, the campground is just full of people. And so I don't get away from anything.
Right.
It's relaxing. So I'd rather, we just got a cheap motel in a little town in southern Utah and hung out there, did some fishing and some exploring of the beautiful scenery down there and tried to have a little bit of relaxing time. May have an injured wing, but you can still chirp. See? Yes, she can. She's chirping pretty good. She gave us the idea for today's craft.
Oh, I'm just full of ideas.
Yeah, she's had plenty of time to sit around and think of them, and now she's got a list and what's the word? I've lost it. It's all still on vacation for me. Just itching at the bit to get, scratching at the bit to get going and do some stuff. Melanie put in my camping hours as a kid. Now my idea of camping is Motel 6. Exactly.
There we go. Yep.
Yeah. You hit that age where you don't want to have to walk across the campground to the restroom, right? Mm-hmm. In the middle of the night. Mm-hmm. Call it glamping, if you will, but I don't need a whole lot. I don't need a 4-star hotel. All I need is a place to sleep that's free of bugs and has a bathroom. That's really all I require. Glennis, thank you for starting us off. Glennis reminded us about our prize bag that we give away every single time we do a live. If you are new to our lives, every time we do a live, we give away. I'm trying not to let it crunch too much because it is noisy. We give away a prize bag, and this can be things that we have made on lives. It can be supplies to use in your journaling and scrapbooking. It can be all kinds of things. So this one, I'm not going to take it apart and show you everything that's in it, but I'll just show you a couple things. This one has a really cool sun catcher. No, not sun catcher. What are they called? Dream catcher.
A dream catcher.
Little dream catcher in it. It's about 4 to 5, probably 5 inches in diameter. And then down the bottom is all the feathers that hang down from it. And it also has a pack of book pages that has pages from, I can't remember if it's 5 or 6 different books, and every one of them is a different language. There is no English in there. They're all different foreign languages, And those are fun to, journal with. And it's sometimes you don't want to have to buy the whole book to get a foreign language book. So there's pages from a bunch of different ones, different sizes, and they're all antique. They're all really old books. And when we finish, I'm going to put this that I made as today's prototype. I'm going to put this in that bag as well. So that will also be given away. So I'm going to, while it's right here and I don't lose it, I'm going to start keeping track of the names. If I miss one, you can help me, Carrie. I've got Glynis, Carrie, and Margie.
Yes.
Already in the drawing. So if you are new to our lives, anybody who contributes with a super chat in any amount gets into the drawing. At the end of the live, we do the wheel of names, the wheel spins. You can see who wins right there. And then I ask you to PayPal $5 towards the shipping. I will pay the rest of the shipping. And then we have a fun option. If you would like to send $10 for shipping, then I fill a flat rate bubble envelope, which is $10 shipping. So you're still just paying the shipping. And I will fill that flat rate bubble envelope full of stuff and send it to you. Because I've got lots of stuff that we've made on lives, cool stuff that you can use in journals. You can tear them apart if you want. I've got lots of supplies, lots of just fun things to share. I don't have room for everything, and I'll never be able to use everything in this lifetime.
I'm starting to feel the same way.
Isn't that crazy? Hi, Leah. Good to see you. Let's see. Margie just wanted her own color. Yes. The vet didn't cost as much as I planned. So, Margie, thank you. Thank you. You are a sweetheart. And I am so grateful that things went well at the vet. Cuppy got some medicine and she's going to be okay.
So good.
Yes, really, really grateful for that. Celebrating that she still has her baby cupcake. Cuddles for Cupcake. Yep. Yeah. I totally agree.
Cuddles for Cuppy. Yes.
Yeah. She's a sweetheart, and we did not want to see that be the end of Cuppy. So all right. So we're going to show you first what Carrie brought to our attention that we're going to make today. And I'm going to leave Carrie up so that we can both show him, because you'll see some differences. We both made a prototype, and then we're going to walk through how to make it today. So this is a one-sheet wonder. This is all made out of one 12 by 12 sheet of paper. Cardstock, I think, works best because it's firmer, stiffer, because it is a folio. It is an envelope of sorts. And so you could use scrapbook paper, but I think it's a little sturdier if you use cardstock. So mine is closed with a ribbon that goes around it. Right there is just tied on like that. Carrie, how is yours closed?
Mine's closed with a butterfly paper clip.
Oh, I love that. I love the butterfly paper clips. Okay. So, and there are a number of ways. There's even additional ways that you can do this. So we're going to show you, two versions of things, but then we'll talk about other ways as you go through. So if you'll notice, mine opens up to the left and Carrie's opens up to the right. And we'll tell you why and how you can choose which way you want yours to open. Right inside this flap is a little pocket, and there's just some tickets and tags in there. You've got the same pocket, some little tags in there. And then there's a large pocket here. And inside mine, I just took another piece of cardstock and made just a little journal and put some gel prints in there so that you could doodle on those, and some blank pages that could be written on. So that is inside my large pocket. What did you put inside your large pocket?
I just put a couple of things, a journaling tag and a card.
Okay.
So far, I just didn't.
Yeah, you could stuff that full of journal cards, plain paper, whatever you want to do. All right. And then in front here is a pocket. Carrie, how did you close your pocket? I used buttons.
I did mine with brads and punch outs. My little punch outs are very hard to see because they blend in. They're flowers.
That's cool. It shows better on YouTube than it does for us here. But yeah, there's okay, cool. So you could use buttons here. You could use brads with just circle punches, flowers, all kinds of things. And we'll talk about some different ways to do that. So inside this pocket, I just have mine's a flat pocket, doesn't open very wide. So there's some stickers and some die cuts and just little tags and things like that to use. Carrie's, on the other hand, has a nice gusset. So opens a little bit farther. Look at all the stuff she's got in hers. So you can see how hers opens a little farther there and could hold a little bit more. If you wanted to put a mini journal or something like that, you could even do that. And then above, you got a lot in there, actually.
Yeah,
above
it will hold quite a bit.
Is another small tuck pocket there. And mine goes about halfway down. And so I've got small things like a vellum tag and tickets and things like that stuck in there. Carrie?
Mine goes all the way down to the bottom here.
Okay.
Because I didn't glue off the top.
So she can put
I can put taller things.
Tags. Yeah. Yes. Lots of good journaling tags can fit down in there.
Yes.
That's a lot of good space. Okay. You could put something on the back if you wanted. I left it so that it could be a flat envelope. You could even glue it into a journal if you wanted and let it open on a page, but it can be something that you carry with you. Say you go on vacation or you go for a long weekend and you like to journal, but you don't want to drag a whole journal with you. You could do a journal, a small journal for the weekend or for that trip that you're going to put in here. And you've got also room to stick in ephemera from the trip, and then just carry this and have everything you need to journal.
That's a great idea.
So Velcro magnets. Yes. So you could Velcro or magnet this closed, this pocket over here. You could also Velcro or magnet the front closed and not have to deal with a big old ribbon or lace or whatever hanging down here. I almost did that. I almost Velcroed that closed to not have the ribbon on it. I decided to do it. We could talk about the option. So
if you do that, the only place I see good enough to put a magnet or Velcro dot is right here on that flap. But if you do that, then it gets in the way of whatever you put in that pocket.
That's true.
Unless you do it a little bit
was
lower
thinking
down.
the only place I really saw was these corners. I could do
that's a good idea.
And the corner
One
would go
on each corner.
Because then if the center is stuffed or if this pocket's stuffed, it left me a little bit of room, almost gusseted in the center, that could expand if I needed. But
great idea.
I mean, it's kind of awkward.
Yeah.
That's all I saw. I agreed with you. I thought, I don't want to put that in the middle. And you'll notice that this closure is off center. That's purposeful. It's not right in the center because I didn't want it right over the pocket. I like it up here. When it's closed, you can still see the pocket. You see everything. It doesn't get in the way. It doesn't close. And, everything being perfectly centered all the time is kind of boring.
It is.
But so we're going to show you how to make this today. So who's going to make along with us? It's really not difficult.
Not at all.
And you've got time to grab what you need because you don't need a lot of supplies. What you do need is one sheet of cardstock. So one sheet of cardstock. Wait a minute. I'm going to use this one because it's white on the back.
Oh, I'm going to use a double-sided one. So
you can use a single or a double. I guess I pulled both of these out because the double is solid color, and I wanted it to be easy to see. So, when you see us do it, you can see either white or a solid color on the back. If they're two big patterns, it becomes a little difficult for you to see what we're doing where. So, yay, Glennis is doing it with us. Okay, so we are going to start with this single piece of 12 by 12 paper. If it has a branding strip, make sure you cut or tear that off so that you have just your 12 by 12. And I am going to flip it upside down and do my score marks from the back. Now, you notice that Carrie's opened to the right, mine opened to the left, hers opened to the right. The reason hers opened to the right was because she did her score marks with the right side facing up. So whichever
Yes.
side you want to be the outside, okay, whichever side you want to be the outside, if you want to do it, I like to score it on the solid side because I can see the score marks a little easier. But if you wanted it to be open on the right, like Carrie's, then just do it with your right side facing up. So, yay, Melanie's doing it along with us as well. Okay.
So here's the thing about scoring.
Yes.
If you do not want your cardstock to break when you fold it, you're going to score on the opposite side that you bend. So on the side that you score it creates a little valley, and you're going to turn it over and fold it. Because what that does is it crushes the paper along the score line and prevents it from cracking and breaking.
Which is that's when I first started, and it works. Yeah. It's very true. Yes. If you have pretty supple paper, then you might be okay. If you have, I have some paper it's thicker, it's heavier, it may be older, it's drier, and it cracks all the time.
Yes, no matter what you do, it's gonna crack.
And if you have paper like that, just give it a really light spritz of water. You don't want to saturate it, just a little spritz of water where you're going to score and where you're going to fold. And that helps those fibers right on that score mark to soften up and fold better without cracking. And what Carrie said is absolutely true. And I'm actually going to go against that by scoring on the back. Because if I score on the back so that you can see the score marks, I'm putting my crease here, but then I'm going to end up folding it this way. Mm-hmm. So I'm going against the rule, which I don't mean to. I just want to back here so that it's easier.
You're going to end up with your little flap opening on the left.
Yes.
And I'm going to end up with mine on the right again.
Okay, perfect. They can see both.
So we're doing it both ways so everyone can see, and hopefully we won't confuse anyone.
Yes. And if you have questions, just holler. We'll stop. And, because we're going to do the exact same thing. We're just going to do a mirror image of each other.
Right.
Okay. So, all right. If you want it to open up on the left, follow me. If you want it to open up on the right, follow Carrie.
Okay. So I'm doing it on the side. I'm scoring on the side I want facing out.
Okay. She's scoring on the outside. I'm scoring on the inside.
Right.
Okay. So
here we go.
We are going to start. And if you have a 12 by 12 scoreboard, great. If you have a smaller scoreboard, that works too. I did the prototype with a smaller one. Just had to move my paper along to score it because I couldn't find my large one. Found it, Margie. It was right where it's supposed to be. It was not homeless.
It was behind the milk.
Glennis, gotcha. Yeah, it was behind the milk. Something was covering it and hiding it. It was right where it was supposed to be. Okay, so we are going to start from the left side. We are going to score at 3 1/4 inches. And Carrie, anytime yours is different, you just holler.
Okay.
3 1/4 inches from the left, all the way down. Oops. Try to stay in the gutter, Marianne. Okay.
Gutter.
And then we're going to go along here to 11 1/4. Now, if you don't have a full-size scoreboard and you're working off of a smaller scoreboard, all you have to do is flip this around. And instead of going 11 1/4, you're going to go 3/4 of an inch and score it right there. You'll get the same. I'm going to leave it this way so I don't confuse, but I did 3 1/4. Now I'm going to go to 11 1/4.
It's exactly what I was going to explain because mine isn't full size.
Yeah. Yours is long enough, but it's not 12 inches wide. So,
right.
And I was working off of a little 6 by 8. If you have this mini scoreboard, that works. I did 3 1/4, and then I just moved my paper up. I kept it braced against the wall, and then I just flipped it around and did 3/4 of an inch there. So it works. You can always make it work. There's always a way to make it work with paper. Not a big deal. Okay. Margie, see, I told you it was right. She did. She said, look, it's right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we've scored at 3 1/4 and at 11 1/4. We're going to do a 1/4 turn to the left. Take your paper and 1/4 turn to the left. Now at the quarter turn to the left, we're going to go to 2 inches and score it at 2 inches. All right. And then we're going to go up to 7 3/4 of an inch. And we're going to,
which is 4 1/4, 4 1/4. Yes.
Yep.
If you're doing it my way.
It around or doing it Carrie's way. If your scoreboard isn't 12 inches wide, that's 4 1/4. So I scored it at 2 inches and I scored it at 7 3/4 inch. I know a couple of you are doing it along with you, and I don't want to lose you. And Melanie, I know it's hard to chat while you're creating. So just want to know that you're with us. Or if there's a point where you need us to, slow down, just holler. Or if you can even type in there, I'm good, I'm here, yes, whatever. So I know that you're with us. Okay, I'm going to turn it back the quarter turn to the right. Was going to craft along, but I'm already lost. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Melanie, grab a piece of 12 by 12 and forget the mirror opposite. Just do what I'm doing. I will wait.
Put your paper down. Yeah,
I will wait. Go ahead, grab one. I want you to be able to do this because it's fun. Where's my other score? That was so light. That one was so light I can hardly see it. I got to do it again. 3 1/4. It's barely there. It's crazy. It's like the paper healed while I was doing the other score. There it is.
Yeah, I had to run mine twice to get a good score.
The other ones seemed like a pretty good score. I must not have just pressed very hard. That was the very first one, and I didn't press very hard. Keep going. I'm going to have to go back. I will wait for you, Melanie. If you want to grab a piece of paper, honestly, I will.
We'll tell you the measurements.
Yeah. Okay, so just as a repeat, if somebody's watching it on repeat and they just want to get the measurements down, we put the paper down. We did 3 1/4. We scored 3 1/4. And then we went far to the right and we scored at 11 1/4. I give you a chance to write.
So she's got that.
Melanie has that. Okay, perfect. Now, quarter turn, take your paper and quarter turn to the left. That's all. 1/4 turn to the left. Yep, we are not in a rush. If you want to grab a paper, I'm happy to wait for you. Once we quarter turned to the left, we scored it at 2 inches. And then we went up and scored it at 7 3/4 of an inch. There's your next two. 2 inches and 7 3/4. Don't forget to write quarter turn to the left in between those scores. So you get 2 going one direction, quarter turn to the left, and then 2 going the opposite direction. Okay. I'm going to bring it back to quarter turn to the right where you can see hopefully you can see my score mark on the right is that little tiny strip that was the 11 and that's a really light one too. Wow. I just didn't press very hard. And you know what? One direction that you score, you're going with the grain. It's going to get a much bigger indent. The other one is going against the grain. You might have to score that twice to get a decent score mark. There, you can see that. Okay, so on this little tiny strip, there's only one that's little tiny, 3/4 from the edge. We're going to go to the corner and we're going to cut out both corners. So there's score here and there's score here. I'm just going to cut out that little corner on both sides. Like that. And I'm going to keep that piece of paper. Okay, so this is our skinny score mark right there. I'm going to go down to the other corner. This one's wider, but it's still the skinny side corner. And I'm going to cut out this corner as well. I can barely see my own score mark. There we go.
Yeah, I have to feel for mine.
Yeah. And don't worry about being perfect on that cut because as we use it, we can trim it a little bit if we need to. Seem to always have to do that anyway.
Yeah, we're going to have to trim it a little bit to make everything fold nice.
Yeah. Okay. And then I'm going to hang on to that piece as well. So now on that skinny side, I'm going to move my scoreboard. You'll be able to see this easier. And I'm putting back where it lives, Margie.
Oh. Mine's a directional design, so I'm going to have to run with it. I probably wanted to do it the other way. But anyway.
But didn't.
Yeah. Right.
Margie, by this time I've already just made up my own design, right? Because you don't like to wait around for all these instructions. Okay, so this was that skinny side. Now we've got this this notched out in this corner, and we've got it notched out in this corner. We've got this, right? Okay, we have one more that we're going to cut out, and that is the third corner on the other side, which is a wider score. Here, there's a little one, and then there's a big one. We're going to cut the big one out. So we're going to go down to the bottom left and cut. Whoops, and cut that straight. Good thing it doesn't matter. I'm going to cut this little corner square out. That's the biggest corner square. And again, we're going to hang on to it because we're going to use that. Okay. We have one corner left that we have not cut. So we're going to go to that corner. We are going to cut it, but we're not going to cut it out. We're only making one cut. So if your paper's sitting this way, we've got a long score here. We are going to cut just this mark right here. I'll do it and then show you. We're only cutting that one because this is the part that folds up. This folds up and becomes this little pocket right here inside the front flap. So this score over here is the front flap, and this is our little pocket. So now when I go to close that, I don't want this overlapping. It won't close properly. So I'm actually going to come down here and just cut out a tiny sliver. Cut out a little sliver, and if that's not enough, I'll cut out another sliver. Because, you know, you can keep cutting off, but you can't put back on. So just starting a little bit larger sliver at the bottom here and just going back directly into that point where they meet. I just wanted to have room to close without getting hung up. There we go. That should work. There we go. And I can see that that should have room to fold. Okay, so that's actually our front closure flap and the little pocket right inside it. Now, if you want to round corners, like I have rounded corners here, this one I didn't round until the very end. I like a rounded corner on here and on here. Now is the easiest time to round before you start gluing. So I'm going to round this corner, which is my flap closure. Okay, and I'm going to round this one. And you don't have to round if you prefer square. And I'd also like to round this one. It's a little awkward with this in the way. So if I hold that closed, then it's easier to get to that corner. There you go. And I'm not going to round this one because we're going to cut that off. I'm going to cut that off just at a little angle. Well, that'll work better once it's folded. So let's just go ahead and fold. Can't see my score. The score is now on the inside. Another benefit to having the score on the outside. Okay. So once I fold that up, now I can not round this corner. I can cut this corner off. I'm just going to just lop off a little corner like that. Okay. Easy enough.
I just went ahead and rounded mine.
I did that the first time, and then I ended up cutting it off. So
I see.
You probably
Okay.
just run it and leave it, but I cut it off when I folded it in to glue it. So I thought I won't bother to, because then somebody will go, why did you round that? You just cut it off. So I'm going to fold that one down now so you can start to see it come together. Okay, so what you're seeing come together is this. Here is the big pocket. This is the pocket inside the flap, and there's the flap closure. Now we've still got this on the bottom to deal with. And you can see that we have the pocket right here. So let's go ahead and fold this up to get a good fold there. I'm going to fold that up and burnish it. Okay. And now if I close this and I fold this up, that is what creates this pocket right here. Not the flap, but the pocket. And we'll tell you about some options here that you don't have to make that pocket if you don't want. So what we need to do is cut off this little strip right here that's sticking out over the edge. I suppose you could leave it. It's just kind of in the way and would get in the way of putting things in there. And we can use that for other things. So you could just eyeball that and cut it. I don't trust my eyeball so much. So I'm going to grab, I think I have a ruler right here. I'm going to grab a ruler and just kind of line this up with the grid and see where this, I just want it to go even along with this flap here because it's going to fold up on top of that flap. So it doesn't need to be any larger than that flap. So if I do that, then I just put a little line, right there, just a light line. So now I can cut on that line. Not a very sharp pencil, so it might have actually pushed it over just a bit. I can always trim it down if I need to. And then I'm going to cut this piece completely off right here. There we go. We're going to hang on to that because we're going to use it. So now we've cut out that one little section. We fold that up, and there's our pocket. I'm going to thumb notch. I think it'll make it easier to see. But I'm going to do a little thumb notch out of my little tiny pocket over here. And I'm going to do a thumb notch out of this one over here. Okay. So you can see without the flap even, put this right here and you've already got a nice pocket. It just doesn't have an envelope flap on it. And this big piece that we cut out is what we would use right here, fold it over to be our flap cover. Well, that's an idea. On my notes, I put an X on the pieces to cut, but I didn't do that. I could do that. I didn't. Yeah, it does, because you probably wouldn't see the back if you use them anyway. That's a really good idea. Hey, computers had to restart. Oh, Margie. Sorry. Glad you're back. So if I had to cut that one little flap off, do I need to do this with the ruler, or can I just keep that a bigger pocket? You could keep it a bigger pocket. The only problem I see, Melanie, is that pocket then would go all the way up here. Instead of cutting off right here, the pocket would go all the way across. And so when you open this up and you're trying to slide something in here, you would have pocket all the way to here. And so you would need to slide underneath that. There's just not as much room, but it would absolutely work. You could let that go all the way across. My thought was, if it goes all the way across, then I really can't put anything behind that, other than using the big pocket, although it becomes the base, it could be an extended pocket out here and with a flap over it. No, it wouldn't. No, because this is the front of the pocket. And when you open this, even when you put the flap on, you have to have this behind it to create the back of the pocket. So yeah, it would just kind of be wasted paper. You could do it. It would just kind of be wasted paper though, because you couldn't put anything inside a small pocket here. It's just hanging over. And it just kind of got in my way for putting in this pocket. Does that make sense? But you know what? You can do whatever you want, because there's so many different ways that you could alter this for sure. Hey, Casey.
Hi, Casey.
Hope you get back quickly. Good afternoon, everyone's shopping now. Lunch break. Yay. Not sure what I did, but taking a note from, I think, Glennis and doing my own thing because mine no longer looks like y'all's. That's okay, Melanie. Make it and see what it ends up like, and then go back and make another one. It'll probably end up different every time. Okay, so here's an option. As I mentioned, this piece that we cut off would be what we would put right here and fold over to be the flap to this pocket. You could glue these two sides down and let that be a pocket right there. And you could take this one, I could thumb notch it and put it behind it just a little bit, thumb notch it and let it be a pocket up here. And you could have two pockets on top of each other and not have, in fact, I think I'll do that because that's different than the one we did. So let me do that. I'm going to cut a little more of this because I can see the score line on top. And let me make sure that the width is good. Cut a little bit of that score mark off that's sitting there. Okay, I'm going to thumb notch this one, and I'm going to make this one a pocket. Let's see, the flowers are going that way. I could keep them the same way. Doesn't really matter, I suppose. Okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to have one pocket on top of the other pocket. It's a little bit harder to see because you don't see any white behind it. But as soon as I put things in it, you'd be able to see that if it was stuffed, you'd be able to see that they were pockets there. Okay, so if I want to do that, then all I want to do is look at placement as to how high or how low I want to put this. I want it low enough that it covers the thumb notch. And I wanted it low enough that I have plenty of room up here to stick a tag in and it's not going to be sticking out. All right, so back over here, we want to glue this down before we do that pocket. The first thing I'm going to do is glue this little flap over here. Let's see if my glue will work today. I really need to clean my little metal tips. And I want to get just ever so slight, skinny little strip of glue here because it's a skinny pocket anyway. And if my glue spreads out, it's going to take up part of my pocket. So I just want a tiny...
I just noticed something.
Yeah.
You could fold it up the other way and have a pocket on the outside.
Yes. I don't want to do that with the white, but I thought about that with the double-sided.
I think I'll do that.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you do that, then they can see what you're talking about. Could also probably take this scrap. This scrap is not quite wide enough, but you've got these little scraps that are perfect for doing other things. Okay, so now we want to fold and glue down our large envelope pocket. So I want glue along this side and this side only. And I don't want glue right here in the corner where it's going to stick to itself. That would prohibit me from getting something down the pocket. So I'm going to put it only where this flap would be, which is, it's basically up to where this line is here. So rather than guess on that, I'll just come over here to the flap, and I'm going to put a line close to the edge. But I'm also going to put a line up here close to this edge, not right next to the edge, because I want that whole flap to be glued down underneath so that when I put stuff in there, it doesn't catch. I don't want stuff to go down in and catch the edge of that flap. You know, a journal, I put the journal in, I don't want it to catch the edge of that flap and get hung up every time or end up ripping it. Okay. Then I come down to this side and I only want 2 strips of glue down the 2 sides. Because I'm going to leave it as an open pocket, not an envelope style pocket. Okay, but before I glue that down, I need this one to be underneath it. So at the same time, I'm going to put a strip down the 2 sides of this. I could have just done this one first. At least I caught myself before putting the bottom one down. And you could choose whether to leave the bottom open and that top pocket would go all the way to the bottom, or whether to glue across the bottom, making it half the height of your total. I'm going to glue across the bottom. And what I'm going to do is pick this up. And as I put the bottom one down, I'm going to choose where I want the top one and just lay it down at the exact same time. So they're both glued down. Now, if one of them's hanging over the edge here or over the edge here, those can be trimmed off. And I'm going to check and just make sure I didn't get too much glue and glue something closed. So I put my ruler in and that moves nicely. Put my ruler in this one and it goes down right to here to the bottom of the second piece of paper. So that one moves nicely. Let me double check my little guy over here. Perfect. Okay, so the difference, this one has the flap. Now I don't get to do any closures on it. Oh, well, it's faster and easier to do it this way and not have to do a closure. We'll talk about closures though. Actually, that's kind of nice. Okay, so now you've got a couple pieces. Let me get my pin back in my glue. Yeah, Glynis is doing a mini one. She's using 6x6 paper. Casey, it's so good to see you. It's been so long. I know everybody's been so busy. I've got some little pieces here. This one, this one, this one, and they are all usable. So for the closure on the prototype, I used this one, the tiniest of them, folded it in half, punched a hole, put an eyelet in there. And you could do the same thing, and you don't have to put an eyelet. You could actually do the same thing and then put a piece of Velcro, or I guess you could do magnet, but Velcro would be easier. Just to Velcro that closed to the top of this pocket using this strip if you wanted to. It does give something to hold on to. Let's see. Other ways of closing this could be a piece of Velcro or a magnet, but a Velcro in this corner and on this corner. Okay, before I do anything on the corners, I do like to round this corner. The top one is rounded. You don't have to. Not everybody does. That's one of those things. I like the symmetry of the round corners. It'll bug my eyeball. I'm looking at that one not round.
We don't want to bug your eyeballs.
Oh. Okay, so if you wanted to ink these, you ink along the edges there. It would make those edges more prominent. You could put a thumb notch right here in the large part of the envelope. I didn't do that. You could flip over to the back. I really like this paper, so I don't want to put anything on it. But you could flip over to the back, and now you don't have enough left really from this. You could do a small tuck spot back there, but you could get another piece of paper and make a pocket or a corner tuck or a strip across the bottom to tuck things into if you wanted to. I like having the envelope, carry it somewhere with a journal in it, and it's not going to get all torn up. Hey, Jersey, good to see you. Who's closing on Mondays? Oh, so you typically clock in right about the time we're going to start. Oh, well, there's good and bad to that, right, Casey? It is good to see you. It's been a while. We've missed you. So Carrie, let's see. Did you do the normal pocket with the flap on the top?
No, I did the gusset.
Okay. So
I will show you.
Yes.
So these two pieces down here were part of the pocket where everyone cut right here so the pocket could go up like that.
Yes.
Okay? And I did the notch out of the pocket. What I could see, I like to have gusseted pockets, especially with especially with the cardstock. So I can see it in my brain. So I just left a 1/4 of an inch past, and then I cut it at a 1/4 of an inch, and then I had this piece left over, which I then scored in the middle, folded over, and then cut 2 little pieces for the other side.
And perfect.
Of the gusset. So I will glue that on, and then I will have a pocket that can hold more. Because as you stuff more in here, then this gets tighter unless you have a gusset. Yes,
exactly.
So easy peasy.
That's a really good way to use that extra piece that she's doing. And then, as she said, she could make a mini journal and stick it in that pocket because it'll open to, 1/2 inch and hold quite a bit. So that's brilliant. And then she's going to do where I did the 2 stacked pockets. She's going to do the flap closure. Oh, have fun, Leah. Grandkids are always awesome. Have fun with her. Once she gets those gussets
my grandkids are camping.
Aw.
I was a little jealous. They're camping. Yeah. They're camping at my favorite spot.
Oh,
which is Lake McConaughey in Nebraska.
Oh, man.
But I can't really camp anymore. But they do have a camper. So
that helps.
I was a little disappointed they didn't ask Nana to go along.
They probably figured you're still recovering from surgery and wouldn't really want to.
True.
It would have been a big decision for you because you'd be like, yes, no.
Right. The babies always want me to, hold them, pick them up, and I can't do any of that.
They can't really understand.
And they're 3 and 5. So they body check you all the time.
Yeah. So I think your daughter was thinking of your best interest.
Yes, she was.
So watch how she's doing the flap. I've got you on full screen, Carrie.
So, okay.
Does the flap?
So, I don't want to glue this down yet, but I want to create the flap.
So she's placing it in there just to get an idea of where she wants.
Yeah, and I want it to fold over long enough to cover the notch there that you can't see. But I want my flap to be this.
Oh, cute. I love that.
So I'm going to do it opposite. So I'm going to kind of mark it right there with my thumbnail and score it.
Great idea.
So I can feel it right there.
So she's flipping the paper over and using the back side to make a contrasting flap on her envelope. Leah, there are no boo-boos in paper. You just go with it and it just turns out something different.
So it will look like this.
There you go.
So what I need to do is round these corners. And I'm going to find my Velcro dots. They're somewhere.
Okay, cool.
Hidden right now, so I'll use Velcro dots.
Put a Velcro dot on the flap and a Velcro dot on the bottom, and that'll be an easy closure. And something simple and easy like that. If you don't want to take a ton of time, And once she's got that down, we'll go back and we can show you what we did on the closures of the first ones.
So I'm going to just glue down the sides, not on the bottom because I want the bottom open for larger things.
And so what she's saying is she's making a second pocket while she's making the flap of this. She's creating a second pocket behind it. And by not gluing down the bottom, she's leaving it open for that to be a long pocket, the full length of her envelope. There we go.
And still only using scraps left over from the one sheet.
Take your bone folder and stick it. Oh, I'll wait till you glue that.
Yeah,
glue that.
I'll do a piece of paper.
See how long that is.
So it'll go all the way down the bottom.
So her back pocket is going to be tall. She could put long journal tags in there.
Now I can glue down these. So I wanted to wait till I got the pocket in first.
Absolutely. I think the gusset's a great idea.
Especially with cardstock, because it really doesn't have much give. As you work with it, it will stretch. Paper does stretch a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And you can force the stretch once your glue is dry.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to be careful that you don't
tear.
break it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can see that, but I already have a bit of a gusset there.
So
as I'm
extra room by putting those two gussets on the sides, and then you see the flap come down.
As I'm gluing it, this pocket down with the flaps, I'm pushing in just a tad so it meets up with the edge of the paper.
Perfect.
And the edge of the folio.
More room.
Yes. So
perfect.
There we go.
Okay, so then there's one pocket.
Yeah, I want to make sure my glue didn't stick down
yep.
anywhere it wasn't supposed
glue
to.
The whole thing down. That's
and
my.
Then there's the other pocket.
And there's the flap, and then the second pocket behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you did the flap pocket, then you've got to choose how you want to close it. So you could do Velcro, like Carrie's going to do Velcro on this. You could do brads and punches. You can cut out some dots, just circle punch, just cut out some circles of any size that you want. And when I do that, I would typically do 2 or 3 to make it thicker, like just glue them together and make it a little thicker. And you could put a brad through the center of that, and then the brad through. Now, if you're going to do that, you want to do that before you glue this pocket down. It's a little hard to do the brad once you've put the pocket down.
Right.
But you put the brad through so you can split it on the back end and then put a circle dot over it to hide those little legs so all your stuff isn't getting torn up with those legs. And then same thing on the flap. I chose to use buttons, and buttons are always real easy, and I've got a ton of them, so I thought, let me just do that. So the trick with the buttons, or I guess the only tip that I could give you, is if this is the button I wanted to use as the closure, I need a second button underneath it. Can you see that there's a button underneath that? There's a button underneath that. There we go.
Oh, you left a good.
There's a button underneath it. Yes.
Shank. Yeah.
The button underneath it is smaller than my top button. And the only purpose of that is to be a riser. It's like a little pop dot, a foam dot. If you're a scrapbooker and you want to make something rise up a little bit, that's the only purpose of that button underneath. So I glued down 2 smaller buttons, allowing enough space, far enough away that my bigger button on the top would be placed where I wanted it to. And then I took my string, I put a little bit of glue around the smaller button on the top, and I laid my string around it and stuck it in the glue so it was glued to that bottom button, and then just tied a knot. And then I just left it sit there to dry. Then I just put some glue on top of the bottom button and stuck my decorative button on top of that. And I just let it sit hours. I went and did something else, came back, and then it's all good to go. And so I don't have to worry about getting underneath the button. It's easy to get under because there's a button underneath it as a riser. So that's my only button tip there. You could sew the buttons directly on if you wanted to. I took some of this same string and just stuck it through the holes. I don't like to see the holes necessarily of the button, so I just put the string through it and tied it and cut it off. So you could use buttons, you could use brads, you could use Velcro, you could use magnet. You can
still use a paper clip.
You could use a paper clip.
Yeah.
That's cute. Look at that. Hold that up a little higher so they can see that. She took a butterfly paper clip and closed the lid there with the paper clip. That's cute.
And then things can still go behind that. Yeah.
And then this is the one with no flap, no closure, just 2 open pockets. And uprising. That's why you make videos and I watch. I never thought about using a smaller button under a larger button. Usually make a little stack of glued circles. Yeah, the glued circles are great. Yeah. But it's, a button.
That's what I did with
Casey.
With mine there. The little flowers are 2 pieces of cardstock glued together.
Cute. With a tiny brad and down it. That's really cute. You could put the brad down. I love that she punched out flowers to do that. That makes it a little more decorative. You could do just the circle, or if you guys have seen in the past, we've got one of our most watched videos on this YouTube channel is the one of how to make paper buttons. So if you've got a stash of the paper buttons, they are really nice with glossy accents or however you coated them. Those make nice decorative buttons in a situation like that. You could also take a flower. You could put the button underneath it to have the riser, and then yep, I do have a couple right here. And then you could just take a little flower of any sort and put your brad down the center of the flower, and or 2, to give it some extra petals and just make it look nice. But you can use anything like that. And if you need riser to wind it around, just stick a little button under there. It's hidden. It's hidden and nobody can see it. All right. So let's see. Glennis has made one with a 6x6. So hers is small. Okay. So it's the exact same thing. Let's see if this will show here. One moment.
Oh, 6x6.
Exact same thing, but it's mini. So 6x6. So there's her flap that closes over. And then she did... there's the flap, the pocket with the flap, you can see right here, and then stuff stuck behind it. Here's another one. This one's paper's not quite as dark, a little easier to see. Ooh. So she took just a punched around circle and used that as the closure right there. And then she had a long skinny strip. She might have some different offcuts because she started with a 6x6. And she used that as a belly band up there. It could be decorative, or you could actually slide something in it. And that's another idea, that you could actually use a belly band as a closure. You could take a contrasting piece, something that is one of these colors. This would be really nice with that. And you could make a belly band that goes all the way around the whole thing. And I would make the belly band probably close with Velcro. So I could put a strip of Velcro about 1 inch wide on the bottom piece. So if this gets full, I can close it. And if it's not full, I can close it tighter. Gives you some flexibility as to how much is in there. So that's really pretty. So she glued a gear on top of the flap here too. This is her little pocket flap over here. And let's see. That's cool, Glennis. Looks awesome. Let's see. So she used the flap to hold the envelope also. Okay, so it is Velcro. So this one is Velcroed down. I like that closure there. Oh, this is actually not an offcut. That's a ruler to show us that it's 6 inches long, 6 inches tall. Sorry, from a distance, the other picture, I thought that was an offcut, Glennis. So that's a ruler that shows us it's only 6 inches high. And then she cut out the circle, and that's Velcroed down. On this flap, I think that one's also Velcroed down. and some die cuts of gears to put on there. That's cute. Turned out great, Glynis. I like that a lot. So yeah, you know, you can make it with any size that you want. You just adjust your measurements. And I mean, basically you could look at it and say, you know, for a flap, if my paper is this big for my flap, I only need about that much. And you only need a little bit over here to fold in, and the rest of it becomes the pocket, and kind of fake it. Again, there are no mistakes. Whatever you do is going to end up fine. So if I take this and I fold this, let's see, I'm thinking about a different, I don't know. I was even thinking using Velcro, but putting this down to give it an extender and put the Velcro out here a little farther so it's not right on the edge. I could actually make two of them. Got this little piece here still left. It could go out here for a tuck. It could go along here. Could make a wider closure. Could use this right here as a wider closure. Well, kind of like that. That would go over the top of this. You know what? I'm going to do that. So if I do this, make a wider closure here. If you're going to put an eyelet in it, put the eyelet in first. And so then you know how much room you have left to, well, I'd say that, but it doesn't matter. You could glue this on halfway up and know that you got the eyelet down there. I like to put the eyelet in first so I can get it sufficiently away from this edge and know exactly how much room I have there to glue on. That doesn't need to be even. They're going to be glued on opposite sides. So I would do like that and say, I'm going to put an eyelet on that. Hey, Patty, happy Labor Day. We're laboring away here. We're just about ready to do our drawing. Last call for anybody who does want to get in the super chat for today's drawing bag, the bag giveaway, the prize giveaway. What do we call that? Prize pack, the giveaway pack. I forgot what you called it. I don't remember what we called it first time. I am going to take a gold eyelet, I think. I'm going to stick the gold one in here. So last call for super chat. Today's bag, I didn't show everything that was in it, but I did show a really nice brand new dream catcher that's in there, and also a pack of book pages from 5 or 6 books. Goodie packet. There you go. That have all foreign language. Pack of paper, all foreign language.
I love that.
Yeah. I think I'm going to round these corners. Why not? Just because I can. Okay. So I took my large piece, folded it in half, put an eyelet in, and now I'm going to glue it onto here. You can let that eyelet be out as far as you want it to be out, or it can go in all the way up against the eyelet. Let me get some glue on here. Thank you, Patty. Patty's had really good luck in this drawing.
Excuse me.
Bless you. So let's get some glue on here. Need it on both sides because it's going to be on both sides of the flap, but not glue together. Okay, I'm going to go out right here. Okay, I'm going to glue that down. All right, and then I think I'll pick some sari silk to use as the closure. Oh, any of the colors would be pretty with all the colors of these flowers. Wow. Looks like I might be able to get a long piece of this color. I want long enough. Get the top of the glue. I want it long enough to go all the way around and be able to tie a bow in the front. Let's It's a separate piece. Let's see. Sometimes the pieces are long, sometimes they are not. The sari silk is lots of strips of sari sewn together. So it comes as one gigantic long thing in the skein. But then when you open it up, you can see where individual pieces are sewn together. So it makes it easy to cut them apart there, especially to separate colors. Let's see if, I don't know if that's long enough. We'll find out. Sometimes I'll take my flat iron, flat iron right here. Sometimes I'll take this, heat it up, and then do this along to flatten out the sari silk. I did that on this one to be able to lay it down on the spine. But okay, so when I tie this on, oh, that's an embellishment. That's a flower on the sari silk. It's going to stick out though and be a little awkward. So I'm going to cut. Let's see, will it pull off? Not really. I'm going to cut the part off that's sticking out. Uh-oh, look at that. I went to cut it and it just, my scissors just broke. Scissors. Wow. And those were some of my favorite scissors from Tonic.
Did the screw come out? Can you fix
them? No, it's this. I might be able to, because that looks like the screw's still in there, but it looks like this just probably was glued down in there, but yet it rotates. So I don't know. Take a closer look at that. That's kind of funny. Kind of unusual to happen, but yeah, those were some of my favorite scissors. So, all right. Always have more scissors around. No worries. And there's another one. These are little flowers that were on that sari outfit. And I left them on, which is kind of cool, but also. Okay, so what I'm going to do is when I close this one with a piece of ribbon, one end is shorter, one end is longer, so that it can go around. I wanted them to lay nicely and be going out the same direction. One can go around and meet the other one, and you can tie a bow right here, and that works. So hopefully this is long enough to go around. It should be. And yeah, that should work. Okay, so that might be a little, I'm going to work around that little flower right there. And I'm going to stick this through from the inside out. I think that's how I did it. Use my really sharp tweezers. Get that in, get hold of it. That flower is not going to go through the hole, so I'm going to have to pull the other side. And I don't want to pull very much because I end up pulling it back afterwards. But I just want it through enough that I can get a little loop. A little loop right here. It's a fat piece of sari silk. It's folded over on itself. Okay, there's my loop. There we go. And then I'm going to pull the other two through the loop. So I'm just going to grab hold of them with my tweezer and see if I can pull them through that way. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I just want to pull them through to the other side and then pull those two ends all the way through. Come on. It's hung up on that little flower. One at a time. So the thinner your string or ribbon is, the easier it is to do. But I do like the sari silk. I got one end through, not the other. So let me grab the other. There we go. It's just fat when you get that little flower there. Okay, so now I've got a short end and a long end. And what I am going to do is that loop that I had, I want to bring that loop back down as tight as I can and then pull this all through that loop. It's that flower getting hung up that's making it awkward, but okay. So then they're both coming out the same direction. So then when I close it, that one can go around and catch with the smaller one right here. And I do like this kind of closure because it gives a lot of room to fill it up as much as you want and still have plenty of room. You know, I could make it as tight as needed or as loose as needed. So I will leave that as the closure then. So what pieces do we have left? We have this little piece and we have this little piece. So last time I took this piece that I used as a closure and cut the end of it and turned it into a little tag. This time I used it as the closure. The first time I used the smallest piece of all as my closure. That was this. So you can just play with those little pieces and do, you know, whatever you want with them. You might, you know, just take this and put it right here around that corner and you could tuck something in right there. Could go down here too. So all those tucky things are on the same side. This one could go along the bottom. It's the exact width. Maybe I'll do that. Okay. So yeah, so there you go. So I will stuff that full of some things and we'll put that in a prize pack for another day. But this one that I already did, it has the journal inside of it. This one we will put in today's prize pack. And let's get to giving away. Hey, Lamont. Welcome, welcome. Oh, I'm so glad, Patty. So glad that you loved your goodies. It's fun packing them. Fun throwing things in to send to somebody else, you know. And I've been going through stuff and finding more and more things that we've made and supplies and things that I could use for these. So, all right. So this one is getting added to today's bag. There we go. And let's get to our wheel of names. And I've got Glennis, Carrie, Margie, and Patty. Did I miss anybody?
I don't think so. I believe that's everyone.
Okay. And let me get... Okay, so I've got Glennis. I mistyped your name. Glennis, Margie, Carrie, Patty. And let's get them on there multiple times. So copy. It's more fun than just seeing 4 great big giant names flying around. Flying around a whole bunch of times in little tiny form. I think it is.
It is.
My name coming more often and think I have a better chance, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Okay, those are still large enough. All right, let me share my screen. And share screen, and we want the wheel of names. There we go. All right, wheel of names. Let's see if we can get that front and center. There we go. All right, click into spin, and I am going to watch YouTube, so I won't see it first and holler it out. Use so many scissors in my your drawer.
Oh, Margie. I thought it was me.
That was so darn close, Carrie.
Oh my gosh.
It was like goodness. It was hanging.
I thought it was going to be my turn.
It was
Congratulations,
just
Margie.
Hanging there on Carrie, and at the very last second, it fell over the edge to Margie. Congratulations, Margie. And thank
Yay,
you for your
Margie.
support. Yeah, Patty, this was a fun one to watch. You'll have to make it. And those of you who made it, please do post it in the Facebook group. We'd love to see them. We do always love to see everything that everybody's made. We can all make the same project and it's different. So please do post them. And Carrie, Margie is sending her gift to you.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much,
Size.
Margie.
Thank
Oh,
you,
that's so
Margie.
sweet. Thank you.
Margie's pack is on the way, and hers is full of lots of minis because I know she likes the minis.
It's going to be so fun.
I do like kind of being able to customize it a little bit after the fact to whoever wins it, knowing, you know, certain things that they like or don't like. So awesome. Congratulations, Carrie. Thank you, Margie. That was
Thank you so much, Margie. That was sweet.
Awesome. And she deserves it for helping today, even with an injured wing. So thanks, Carrie, for taking the time and the effort. I know that
sure. This is always fun.
Show
Get my mind off of being bored.
Yeah, and then make it as well. So doing it in mirror image, not so easy. So thanks, guys, for hanging out with us. Have the rest of a great Labor Day. Whatever you're going to be doing, be safe. Have an awesome day, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye, everyone.
Yes. Bye, everyone.